The Ukrainian military is now dependent on position and inflicting as many casualties on enemy forces as possible in a desperate attempt to degrade their combat capabilities in counterattacks. On the Ukrainian front, where the fighting is fiercer than ever when the heroes of Ukraine launched a counterattack. Horrifying footage has revealed the shocking plight of soldiers caught up in some of the bloodiest trench fightings during the counteroffensive in eastern Ukraine. Ukrainian forces have decided to continue fighting on the outskirts of the destroyed city of Bakhmut, as the fighting would incapacitate Russian defense units during the counteroffensive. The active use of civilian drones to drop small-caliber ammunition on the enemy has become an effective means of enemy impact fire for the Ukrainian armed forces. A video has emerged, capturing the moment of the dramatic attack by a Ukrainian drone. The drone operator saw a Russian soldier taking cover in a trench from a distance and started attacking him with grenades thrown from above. Footage shows the Ukrainian drone spotting Russian soldiers in the trenches, then taking up positions over the entrance to the trenches until releasing grenades that ricochet off the walls of the trenches and penetrate deeper into the trenches. The footage then captures the quick reaction of the Russian soldier, who tries to avoid the explosion before the grenade falls. Unfortunately for him, the grenade hit the trench wall and exploded. To confirm the result, the Ukrainians returned with a drone and threw another grenade, which this time fully exploded in the trench. In the end, the drone also captures the shocking moment, with one Russian soldier exiting the hole, leaving the scene, and entering another in a hurry. Recently, more and more videos have emerged capturing the moment of such attacks by Ukrainian drone operators, as the current battle in the Bakhmut region in eastern Ukraine was marked by frictional friction from static positions. Some of the incidents recorded are difficult to even describe, with soldiers noticing drones above them and ignoring them, or seeing grenades falling at them but not moving to avoid the explosions. And it's not just the Russian military that appears in the footage as vulnerable to drone strikes. The Ukrainians even managed to deactivate a normally several million-dollar queue with a few grenades dropped from a makeshift commercial drone. A video circulating also shows a Russian armored vehicle being targeted by a Ukrainian drone amid fierce conflict in the Bakhmut district during the retaliatory strikes. A Ukrainian drone operator demonstrated a true masterclass in delivering gifts to Russian army tanks, aiming his kamikaze directly at a tank until it was destroyed. The clip appears to be shot directly from the drone's viewpoint, with the start showing the drone flying over a landscape of green grass. About halfway through, the cursor in the field of view begins to focus on something moving in the distance, with a Russian tank then appearing on the screen. The drone began to rapidly approach the tank, getting closer and closer until you could see the open hatch on the vehicle. The video then turns to static as footage shows that the drone has blown up the top of the tank. The fighting during the Ukrainian counteroffensive has occurred on all fronts, and as much as the classic confrontations have occurred, there have been many unusual situations and exchanges of fire with improvised weapons in the war. Such a moment was recently captured on the front, where a grenade-carrying Ukrainian-made drone harassed a Russian armored vehicle and eventually dropped its grenade from the battle. Footage taken from the Ukrainian drone shows him repeatedly harassing the Russian armored vehicle until the crew decided to leave. Ultimately, the drone hurls grenades through the open turret hatch, and the vehicle is destroyed from the inside and effectively ejected from the battle. The unequal combat between the two types of weapons shows a stark contrast between the conventional and the improvised, with a significant difference in cost. A cheap commercial drone, improvised by Ukraine to carry and throw grenades, destroys multi-million-dollar Russian tanks. Other footage shows the armored personnel carrier being hit from above by a drone grenade and destroying it. The vehicle had been abandoned in the battle, and afterward, a drone-launched grenade disabled the armored vehicle forever. The grenade was launched from the same drone that filmed the scene and went straight through the access hatch in the turret. Ukrainian troops have destroyed Russian tanks and infantry on the outskirts of the destroyed city of Bakhmut. The first trailer begins by showing a Russian tank on the battlefield passing through some trees, before Russian infantry is seen being hit by a Ukrainian drone bomb. The tank is then seen being hit as well before images appear showing it is being crushed. A drone is then seen targeting a group of abandoned Russian armored vehicles, with a second tank seen also being its target. Later footage shows explosions on the battlefield as Russian military vehicles are seen being targeted. They are then seen turning around and running away, with the footage ending with the destroyed Russian military vehicle seen in flames, with black smoke billowing into the air. Ukrainian drone drops bombs on Russian soldiers hiding in foxholes in Donetsk. This happened when Ukrainian drones dropped bombs on Russian soldiers hiding in foxholes in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine. This footage shows the Ukrainian drone dropping its deadly weaponry directly on the Russian soldier, who can be seen lying in a foxhole. He climbs out of his foxhole to avoid being hit by a drone bomb, but appears to be injured, rolling over on his stomach as the footage ends. These images were obtained from the Ukrainian 35th Separate Marine Brigade, along with a statement saying he wanted to escape, but he didn't have time. Elsewhere, Ukrainian artillery blew up a building with Russian soldiers inside. This footage shows Russian troops walking near destroyed buildings in a civilian area. With the help of drones, a Ukrainian artillery unit managed to destroy the target. Ukraine claims to have liberated a number of towns in the eastern Ukrainian city of Donetsk. As the long-planned counterattacks are intensifying, Ukrainian HIMARS is currently being used on the front lines to attack Russian sites in the south of the country. The high-mobility artillery rocket system was deployed for direct use in areas such as eastern Donetsk and southern Zaporizhzhia. They precisely targeted the sophisticated defenses that the Russian army had built so that the Kyiv military could try to penetrate Russian forces with HIMARS. A tank attack is much easier than getting HIMARS out of the trenches. Kremlin forces have relied on a strategy of launching an artillery bombardment large enough to annihilate Ukrainian positions and then advancing through the rubble since the first week of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. They sent waves of troops into urban areas to gain territory at great expense when this was not possible. The high-mobility artillery rocket system quickly gained a lot of respect among Kyiv troops after they arrived in the country nearly a year ago. Experts hailed this truck-mounted, highly mobile system as a game-changing weapon after they were used to launch pinpoint strikes against Russian command centers, ammunition depots, and bridges. Given Russia's superior numbers of troops, weapons, and air power, and the length of time it took to build extensive defensive barricades, particularly in southern Ukraine, the task of stopping Russian expansion in the country's territory is challenging.